What's up guys, my name is Alden and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I've been learning Korean for 1.5 years and just recently started learning Tagalog. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys essential Tagalog phrases that you should know for absolute beginners. And so this is the second video in this video series of my Tagalog learning journey. And essentially, I capture my Tagalog learning journey from start to finish. You can take a look at that first video right over here. But without further ado, let's get started. So these are for people who are just starting, absolute beginners, and are essential for having a conversation. So when you want to start a conversation and you go up to someone, you probably want to say, "Hi, how are you?" And so the way to say that in Tagalog is Kumustá ka? Kumustá ka? Kumustá ka? Kumustá ka? Kumustá is like hello, hi, and ka is just asking the other person, how are you? So Kumustá ka? After that person responds, they'll probably ask you back. You probably want to say, I'm good, and you? So the way to say that is Mabuti Ikaw. Mabuti Ikaw. Mabuti is like, I'm good, and Ikaw is asking the other person. So Mabuti Ikaw. Mabuti Ikaw. And so after you do the icebreakers and you say, hello, how are you? I'm good, you'd probably want to say, what is your name? So the way to say that is, ano ang pangalan mo? Ano ang pangalan mo? Ano ang pangalan mo? Ano is like what, and then pangalan is the name, and then mo is just kind of asking the other person. So ano ang pangalan mo? And so they would probably answer with their name, and they would probably ask you back, what is your name? And you're gonna want to say, hi, my name is Alden. So the way to say that is, ako si Alden. Ikaw. Ako si Alden. Ikaw. And it basically just translates to I am Alden and you. You definitely want to replace this with your name because you're not Alden, but ako si Ikaw. And so when you're going through the conversation after you ask their name and everything, you definitely want to at least be able to answer yes or no. And so the way to say that in Tagalog for yes is oo. 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 And so I know it's kind of weird, but you say both O's in Tagalog. In Tagalog, you pronounce literally every syllable or letter that's there. So oo. It's kind of a space in between the O's. So oo. It might be hard at first, but just try listening to native speakers or just other people saying the word, and eventually I think you kind of get the hang of it. And so you probably want to say no. You don't want to say yes all the time. So the way to say that is hindi. 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 And so a lot of native speakers also say relax the I at the end, and they pronounce it as hindi. Hindi. And that's the one that I usually use. That's just because that's just what I'm used to. I hear my parents speaking that way a lot. So you could say either way, people will understand you, but just choose one. And so after you learn how to say yes or no, there's also a middle ground. You could also say okay. So the way to say okay is sige. 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 And you can also make that formal. You just add a po at the end. So sige po. Sige po. Sige po. And so if you're asking someone for directions or you want to go somewhere and you point to something, you say, what is this? You could say, ano ito? Ano ito? Ano ito? Ano is like what? And then ito is like this, the thing you're pointing to. So ano ito? Ano ito? And so they might tell you where to go, or they might answer you, but you might also need to use the bathroom. And at some point you definitely need to use the bathroom. And so the way to say that is nasaan ang CR? Nasaan ang CR? Nasaan ang CR? And again, it's that double syllable with the nasaan. And so you have to pronounce both A's in there. And nasaan is like where. And then CR is like the bathroom. And in Tagalog, that's what we call the bathroom. It stands for comfort room. I don't know why we call it that, but that's just what it is. So if you say the CR in the Philippines, everyone's gonna know that's the bathroom. So nasaan ang CR? Nasaan ang CR? And so when you're wrapping up the conversation, you would probably want to say, thank you. Thank you for speaking with me. And so the way to say that is Salamat. Salamat. And if you're speaking to someone older and you want to make it a little bit more formal, you can say Salamat po. Salamat po. So that's the way you say thank you. And then after that, you probably want to say bye, like bye bye. And so the way to say that is paalam. 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 That's the way to say goodbye. There's also another way to say that we also say goodbye. This is more like take care. And I've heard this a lot more often. So it's Ingat po kayo. Ingat po kayo. Ingat po kayo. Ingat is like take care. And then po is like again formal. And then kayo is like telling the other person. So Ingat po kayo. Ingat po kayo. So when you're ending a conversation, you can either use paalam or Ingat po kayo, and you could say your byes. Those are some essential Tagalog phrases for you. But before you go, I do have a couple of resources for you. If you're like me and you're just starting to learn Tagalog, you're definitely in need of some resources. So today I have 3 resources for you. So the first one, if you're starting to learn any language at all, you definitely need a good dictionary. And while Google Translate is good, it doesn't contain a lot of the nuances, and the pronunciation is kind of off sometimes. So I did find a good dictionary. It's called Tagalog.com. I know, the name, but Tagalog.com, it contains a lot of the nuances in some of the definitions that it's using. It has really good pronunciation, and it also just has a lot of resources on the website. Like I haven't even begun to dig in on a lot of the lessons. They have a lot of flashcards on there. So definitely check that out. I'll leave the link in the description down below. But again, it's Tagalog.com. And so the second resource is for grammar. And if you're trying to look for lessons to learn a quick grammar point here and there, I'm currently using the podcast Go Filipino, and it's on Spotify. I'll put a little link in the description down below. But it's pretty good. It basically is under 20 minutes or so, and you get to learn one grammar point each episode. So for example, the last one that I listened to, it talks about using the word ano and creating sentences with it. So ano is the Filipino word for what. So just going over uses of the word what, how to make sentences with it in Tagalog. So that is one resource I highly recommend. I'm currently going through, I think they have like 50 or so episodes, so I'm currently chugging my way through. But that's something that I would highly recommend. So lastly, with all these resources and all these links, I've been tracking them on my Notion page. So I'll leave the link in the description down below. But my Notion page has the study plan that I'm using, a lot of the links that I mentioned, so the dictionary, and all the things that I've mentioned so far on this channel. I'm going to be tracking everything here on this Notion page, so definitely check that out down below. You can feel free to duplicate it. I think you could duplicate it. It has some links to YouTube channels and other things, and everything that I find useful is going to be in that Notion page. So definitely check that out down below. And so that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might also like the other video in this series, My Tagalog Learning Journey. It is the first video in this series where I talk about my study plan. You can take a look at that video somewhere over here. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.